say howdy.
Welcome, everybody, to Howdy. Howdy, Pat.
Well, howdy, hillbilly.
Man, good to have you on here.
Man, it's awesome. Glad I could be a part of this tonight. So, what do you got cooking?
Yeah, I see you got somebody there in the background. So,
Well, yeah, I always got Mr. Bob Ross as my wingman for all these kind of situations. So he kind of brings a chill to the room. So
yeah,
it always kind of relaxes me a little bit. So
yeah, he can paint those happy trees and all
yes,
that
he
stuff.
can.
So,
Happy
thank
little
you so
trees.
much for being here tonight, and we want to welcome everybody to the Howdy podcast and appreciate you all showing up here. And real quick, I want to shout out the sponsor for this video, Patriot Mobile. So if you have a cell phone, I mean, everybody has a cell phone, and this is a great company. Me and my wife, Ames, we had switched this company and we just really enjoyed their values, the service, and everything. That I reached out to them and we become an affiliate with them. And this is no contracts. You don't have to sign any contracts. You can keep your name, you can keep your number, you can keep your name too. I mean, you don't have to change your name. And you keep your phone, and then they also have phones and stuff like that. But they are a Christian conservative wireless provider, the only one that I know of. And what's really awesome about them, there's several things awesome, but wherever you live at, you got like service, like towers and stuff around you, and they're with major carriers. So whatever carrier that you have towers around you, that's what you can choose to go to. And if you made a mistake, it's like, oh man, I made the wrong choice here. That's okay. You can change to another carrier tower, whatever gets the best service for you in your area. And that's amazing. They support our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, our military, our first responders, and the military and first responders actually get a discount. And so you're paying a cell phone bill and they're taking that part of that bill and they're putting it towards who knows what. Maybe not stuff that you agree with. Well, Patriot Mobile takes that money and they put it towards uh, good Christian stuff, our First Amendment, our Second Amendment, everything that I was just talking about. So you're helping uh, provide something good out there with your cell phone bill instead of just like not knowing where the money goes. Just a great company. They show up at like GOA and all these places. They really support the Second Amendment a lot. And so that's why we chose to go with them. And if you're interested in checking out Patriot Mobile, use code Hillbilly. Tell them Hillbilly sent you, and you'll get your first month's free. So, anyway, thanks to Patriot Mobile, and check them out. Pat, man, good to have you on here. I mean, just awesome. I'm just so excited. We've been friends for quite a while and all that. So, tell everybody about your channel. It's called Pat in the Bunker.
Yeah, that name was not. I did not put that name on me. That was like a lot of YouTubers starting out and everything. Somebody gave me that name because obviously I'm kind of in a bunker here, and somebody said, "Well, it looks like you got like kind of a bunker complex going." So I was like, and it stuck. So it was Pat in the Bunker after that, and so it stuck. So yeah.
That
And
is
as far as my channel goes, a lot of outdoor stuff. A lot of people, some people have seen it. Uh, just about anything with outdoors, but mainly geared towards, uh, like rifles and pistols and stuff like that. Just 2A friendly stuff and showing off what I have, how I shoot it, how I carry and things like that is probably the bigger part. of my channel, but I do a lot of other things, not just in the gun related sphere, even though that is the main load of it.
Yeah, and you are a farmer rancher, and so you got something going on 24/7. So, and you like race cars, you like three wheelers. So, like, you never know. Sometimes some videos might be patting a bunker, it might be pat on a tractor, patting on a three wheeler, patting a race car, or whatever the case might be. So, a great variety of content on your channel. And here lately, you've been putting out some shorts deals where like you're out there working, the cattle and stuff like that. And those are always fun to watch. And then, you put some out like when you're out there on a tractor. And so great all around content. So, yeah, tell us a little bit about the farming, ranching, stuff like that, the content on your video.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people comment and want some farming and ranching content, so I've been doing some more of that here lately on the channel, and just a lot of stuff with, especially with the cattle. Um, obviously we're in calving season right now, and a lot of baby calves going on. There's some content uh, that's loaded up in the queue to be put out yet too, with some different machines and with different calving situations. Um, some of it may not be faint for the faint of heart, because with some blood and stuff mixed in, but that is the life of a rancher. That is the life of a farmer. So if you're a little bit squeamish, my channel may not be for you, but it's not like it's not like it's X-rated or anything like that. It's all a part of nature. It's everything that a regular farmer and rancher would do. And if I can bring a little bit of that to the mainstream and show people behind the scenes what it actually takes to do that stuff and keep animals alive and treat them right and everything, then that's what I'm going to do. So, because even though I am a farmer and a rancher and I am still trying to make a profit off all this stuff, I still do care about all the livestock and
Mm-hmm.
everything on the farm, because you can't treat something like total dirt and not get a return out of it. You have to treat it with respect. You have to treat it with kindness, because if you don't, then you're not going to get a return on your profit and everything. You have to have a good cattle herd. You have to have a good farm. Um, you just have to be mindful of everything that's going around you, and Mother Nature included. So,
Yeah.
but yeah,
And
I,
then you have the whole uh, moral thing too, man. As raising farm animals and stuff myself, chickens, goats, horses, cows, or whatever, and even just your dogs or cats. Um,
mhm.
uh, we have a person like a close person, relationship. Most of us do with like our dogs or our cats or something like that. But just because it's a farm animal, like that don't like really go away. I mean, when you get a farm animal like it's sick, something like that, like you know, you have like the moral responsibility, and feelings, when an animal gets sick and trying to keep it healthy, keep it alive and all that. So, you know, that don't just end because it's a farm animal by any means.
Yeah, exactly. You have to treat that animal just like, I won't say exactly like a cat or a dog or a family pet or something like that, but it, you can't get away with treating them bad and expect to have a return on that animal. So you have to treat it nice, you have to treat it good, and if you don't, you're not going to last very long in this in this. So trust me, because I've seen people do it and not. not give a dang, and it doesn't work out for those people. So you got to have morals, you got to have ethics in this, because trust me,
Yeah.
I've seen people go out of business, and so it's not pretty. So
Yeah.
there's
I
got to be a
bet.
certain level.
And to jump back about your content, share with us like some more content that you do on your channel.
Well, I do just about anything outdoors. I've done, uh, I have a wood burning stove and stuff like that, and I've got some wood stove content on cast iron, how to cook with
Oh
cast
yeah.
iron, and the wood stove itself on how to
I
treat it,
love
how to
your
service
stove.
it. Yeah, I love that thing. It's a Lenordica Rosa Reverse, and anybody can go onto my channel and check that out. And I am a big, I wasn't a, well, I'll put it this way, I am a sommelier of cast iron, whether it be waffle irons or pans or anything like that.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah.
I can do anything from frying a chicken to making waffles, or uh,
Baking a
baking
pie.
potatoes,
Yeah.
or making pizza in the oven too. So yeah.
Yeah. And that stove you have, I mean, man, we have a wood burning stove here for heat, but I would love to get one like yours because you use it for heat, but then also it has a flat top on it for cooking. It has an oven. You even have yours has the water box, right? Too,
No,
or
it
it's
does
an
not. Even
option.
though yeah, it is an option. I have not had it plumbed in yet. Although that is one of my goals in the future, is to plumb it in with my hot water heater, so that way it gets a nice constant, just to utilize more of that heat out of the wood
Yeah,
stove and put it more uh, to more efficiency. So that
yeah,
way
and
I can do
yeah,
three things with it.
use electricity. Like you literally can use the hot water out of that, for
Hmm.
maybe doing dishes or whatever. But yeah, it's a beautiful wood stove, and man, I
Oh, well, thank
love
you.
it. And so you also do like three-wheeler stuff. You're a big three-wheeler fan.
Yeah, I got in, grew up on three wheelers when I was a little kid, little 110 ATC Hondas, and graduated up to a 200. Still have that one. And recently, the last, oh, what is it? Probably 8 years, right before the big three wheeler boom kicked off, and they became so collectible now that they're getting ungodly expensive, just like the square bodies.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, uh, got back into those and started collecting of those, and had a barn brought in, and now me and my kids, I've put out some videos on that stuff too. Get more into that in the summertime with all the three wheelers and four wheelers. Me and the kids riding. We go and ride, have a good time, teaching them how to service things, check the tires, check the oil, and all that stuff. Like normal people should know how to do, just like on an everyday vehicle, and just teach them a little bit of respect for their vehicles, and how to check them over. Just like what's the old saying? Even John Wayne walks around his horse before he gets on. So it's just checking those vehicles out and make sure they're ready to go. So, but yeah, we have a blast on those. We really do, and I got our own little track set up and everything. It's a good time. I love riding with my kids.
Yeah. Well, I have not seen John Wayne check the oil on a horse yet, but
That would be a first. That would be a first. I still haven't found that dipstick though.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, I at one time I had the 250 Big Red, Honda Big Red, and of course everybody there rode it. Of course, flipped it over,
Yeah.
it's just a given. If somebody's gonna ride it, yeah, they're gonna roll it, at least once.
Yeah. Yeah, they a three-wheeler versus a four-wheeler definitely commands more respect than a four-wheeler for sure. Takes a little more talent, a little more expertise.
Yeah, and you kind of got some flat land up there, and here we don't have very much flat land, so it's even easier to roll one on a hillside. But
Oh
there's
yeah.
still a lot of fun. And
Oh yeah.
so you also like same as me, you were into racing. You're doing dirt track and all that, and then
Mhm.
you even did like a video here all back. You put an engine in, a square body Chevy truck, and so it's just like the content you have is just really good stuff, and it's not just a one way deal. It just covers so much, and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah, I do have I need to put a playlist together just for that. But if you pick through, you can see the square body rebuild on that, putting a new engine out, pulling one out, putting one in, finding a junkyard find 454 and stuff like that, which was an absolute blast. I got to do that with my brother. We hadn't done that for years on resurrecting a vehicle. So it's kind of like
Yeah,
the junkyard dig slash vice grip garage, what have you on that truck. It's been a lot of fun. And it turned into a really good daily driver. Actually, it runs really good, no leaks, but uh, and that's kind of the square body end of it. So people can go check that out on my channel. And as far as everything else, it's just yeah, if it's outside, I'm doing it because I'm an outdoors guy, and that's
you
just who I
betcha.
am.
Well, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about where you live at, where you grew up at, and like jobs you've had and stuff.
Okay, well, I'll try to run through this as quickly as I can. Grew up on a farm in Nebraska, along the Nebraska-Kansas border. Uh, been doing that for years, and then went off to college. Went into the trades, did auto body collision, got to work on the Eleanor Mustangs. I got to do one of
Nice.
the vehicles for Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh,
There was two.
cool.
There was two. There was two different companies that did that, and we got to do what they call a hero car, which was one of the cars that they did all the photo shoots and stuff like that, and on the trailer and everything. Obviously, it
Hmm.
was one of the ones that got trailered around. Did that for a little while. Um, then worked for John Deere for a little bit, and that didn't last too long. Then I went and built IMCA modifieds for a while and had some of the fastest dirt track modifieds in the country. And
Yeah.
I hang my hat on that because I got to be a part of that design and everything. And there's still two out there running around, even though the company is defunct, and they are still winning races. So
Nice.
I can proudly hang my hat on that one. And then went to work as a diesel tech for a little while, and ran a shop for 4 out of the 8 years, and did combine inspections, complete teardowns on tractors, transmissions, engines, cabs, even did repaints on them, and did
Wow.
that for a little
The
while.
whole nine
And
yards.
yeah, basically the whole 9 yards on the tractors and the combines. And then got tired of doing that, and was always helping my dad out on the farm
Yeah.
and
So meanwhile,
everything.
your parents
Yep,
are
still,
always farmer ranchers.
yep, always still doing that. And I'd come home on the weekends if they needed big cattle roundup, working all the calves to go to spring grass and stuff like that out to the pastures and everything, or the fall roundup to bring everything back home and get them weaned and everything. And then I wound up coming back home, and been back home for about 8, 9 years now, uh, helping run the ranch and the farm end of it, doing everything from spraying to putting up hay, doing all the cattle stuff and everything. Still with my brother and my dad and my mom, and now my oldest daughter, Krista. You've seen her on a couple
Mm-hmm.
videos and stuff in some of my gun stuff. She wants to get more into that, so you'll probably start seeing more of her this summer and everything doing things. So,
Cool.
which is good. Which is good. She needs to learn some more of the stuff because she wants to come back home and she wants to do it with me too. And
That's great.
yeah, so the farming and the ranching and the kids is about, and reviewing some gun stuff here and there. It takes a pretty much full time, and but I love it. I love being out in the country. I did the city thing for a little while, and I too many noses, too many fingers in the pie. I'll put it that way, and I couldn't stand it. So I wound up buying a little piece of property out here from a farmer that used to be right beside my mom and dad's. I'm about exactly 1 mile away from them, and I can't picture living anywhere else. I just can't because I'm literally surrounded by my cousins, my dad, my brother, and basically we have the full run of the township that I live in. And I'm not going to give out the township or exactly where I live or
Yeah.
anything, but it's it's awesome being able to farm beside my cousins and everything, and having
Yeah.
the whole township to ourselves. So it's nice. We've got our own little slice of heaven out here. We have to work for it, but it's our own piece. And so yeah, it's good. It's good. I can't complain. Nobody
Man,
listens to me anyway.
that's amazing. I mean, that's I still live within, oh man, uh, less than a quarter mile, probably an eighth mile from where I lived all my life,
Hmm.
and um, and I did also the same thing, did some traveling for work and all that all over the country, and yeah, I just love these Ozark Mountains, being surrounded with family and friends, and man, it's
Yep.
just there's just nothing like it. I mean, it's just peace here on earth for me, and yeah, I'm sure you probably feel the same way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's hard to pull roots when they run that deep, isn't it?
It is, yeah, yeah, no doubt about that. So, Pat, roughly how long have you been doing your YouTube?
Well, this is kind of a long story, and I'll try to keep it as short as I can. But a good friend of mine now has been for years. Who originally went by Sandhills Media, and still have a lot of his stuff and everything, and used to be on his podcast. Was when I got started. Mr. John Anderson. He's a guy out of Nebraska. Here, I won't give away his location or anything, but he is a firearms instructor now. He quit the podcasting to become a full time firearms instructor, which that takes up more than enough of his time with everything that he's got going on. He's a
Mm,
farm ranch kid just like me, and it was because of what he did that actually got me into
doing
uh,
your own content.
yeah, just doing it all, is because he stood up in front of Nebraska when they were trying to get a the non-license thing, and they were trying to beat down guns even further in
Yeah,
Nebraska than what they already were. And between him and the NFOA, Nebraska Firearms Association, and a couple other different organizations, sorry, I can't remember all of them off the top of my
yeah.
head, but uh, they got to beat back, and they stemmed the tide in a bad time. And
Mm.
he really inspired me. And my brother showed me that video of him going up in front of everybody and, you know, given his time and everything, speaking in front of the unicameral here in
Yeah.
Nebraska. And basically, I got introduced to him, and he goes, "Well, if you want to come on sometime, you can."
Yeah.
And that kind of kicked it all off. I got onto his show, and then I kind of became his fill-in guy when, like, his wife or something like that couldn't be there to help run the show and do the names and
Yeah.
do the rundowns and everything. So that's really how I got started, was because of John Anderson.
So how
So,
long ago was that?
oh man, that's probably been 8, 9 years ago, somewhere
Oh,
around
good
in
deal.
there. So
Yeah.
yeah. Now I didn't actually start putting out content for a little bit, but he got me started into going on camera and helping out with shows and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then a couple years after that is when I finally started up my YouTube channel. I'd have to go back and look at my first video, but
Yeah.
somebody clipped me and said, "Well, what would you do for a zombie gun?" You know, when the zombie craze was really going
Yeah.
on and everything, and uh, it was fun. Don't get me wrong, it was fun to kind of plan out scenarios and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a good time. Just to kind of get the old noggin stirring on different scenarios and everything. But yeah, that's what really got me kicked off. Was so yeah, you can blame it on John.
So,
That's who I'm gonna blame it on anyway.
so what would your suggestion be, like, for somebody, maybe if they're younger, or maybe they're like in their 40s, 50s, 60s, one thing I've seen on YouTube is age really don't matter when somebody wants to start
No.
a channel. And so, like, what's your suggestion out there for people that was watching that, you know, how to start a YouTube channel? What tips can you give them and stuff?
Well, the first thing I would say is,
You got to hit record to start.
well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Don't pull a hillbilly.
Yeah, yeah. Don't mute your mic.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, hillbilly. I had to bring that up.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And what he's talking about is, like, I think, like, I know for my first podcast live show that I did, like, I did the first, I don't know, 5 minutes or whatever of it muted without realizing I was muted, because I was on here by myself. And then when I brought the first guest up, they're like, "You're muted. Nobody can hear what you say, what you're saying." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And then I've actually done that since then, several times. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah. What's your suggestion for somebody that's like wanting to um start a YouTube, or maybe they have a channel and they got like 100 subscribers or 200, and like they might feel like, man, I'm just not really getting anywhere or whatever. So
Well, and that's kind of what I thought when I first started. I got some right off the bat, friends, family, and those first couple hundred came in pretty quick,
hmm
you know, and then it kind of went stagnant. Well, my big problem was I wasn't consistent enough, and that's the big thing I can tell you. If you're shorts, do 3, 4 a week, and just that way, whatever you're doing, whatever content you're putting out, progress on whatever you're doing. And it doesn't matter if you're a photographer or if you're a gun tuber or if you're a mechanic. It doesn't matter. If you can stay consistent, in which I've had that problem even up till now, um, be consistent. And another point I will put out: go with what you know. Don't
Yeah.
don't try to be like, okay, well I'm really good at gardening or something. Oh, well I'm going to do photography. No, don't do that. Don't do that. If you want to start that up later, fine. That's great. But like, I'm a farmer, I'm a rancher. I review some guns and stuff. I do outdoor stuff. That's the stuff that comes naturally to
Yeah.
me.
Something you
So,
enjoy doing.
yeah, exactly. If you enjoy doing it, because that's another thing. If you don't enjoy filming it and putting it out, whether it be a live or a short or a long form video, something like that, you're not going to enjoy it. You'll burn out quick, and you'll be done. You'll just be like, I'm done. Because all the stuff that I film, like whether it be a gun or a three wheeler I picked up or something like that, if you're not having fun or at least enjoying it while you're filming it and describing what you're doing, you're going to be burnt out. You just will, because I've seen it happen too many times with new people getting started out, or people that started out on the same level that I did and no longer post videos because it's like 6 years later and they haven't posted anything.
They got burnt
And
out. And
yeah, and it's just like it's like anything from square bodies to everything. I'm going to film the stuff that I enjoy, and the people that like the same stuff are going to come along and they're going to watch, because it's like, oh, what's he up to next? What's he up to next? And that's kind of the thrill of the ride on it,
mm-hmm.
is like, okay, which direction is he going to go today? So it's an adventure. It's an adventure.
You betcha. Yeah, and there's like regardless, of what you do, or what you enjoy doing, make content. There's videos out there. I mean,
Oh yeah.
everything from cooking to gardening to, I mean, if you like uh collect like bees or whatever. I mean, it
Hmm.
don't matter. There's people out there that want to watch, content. And so, I agree with you. Something that you really enjoy doing, that you're not going to get bored of doing. And, and if you enjoy doing it, then, you're just turning the camera on while you're doing it. And, that makes it
Exactly.
so much easier, in life to, enjoy doing something because, like, people that start YouTube, don't get the like don't get thinking like, oh, this is going to be a money thing, because it can be, but it's going to
Yeah.
take a while to get there.
Yeah.
Some people's got lucky right off the bat, I'm not saying it
Yep.
can't happen. You're a great personality, you're a good speaker, maybe, or like you just really caught a wave of like what people's interested in. It can happen. But if you're doing it to make money only, then
Ugh.
you
You're
better
in
be
it for
doing
the wrong
something that
reasons.
you enjoy,
Yeah.
because you might go quite a while before you ever, see a return on, you know, YouTube at all, maybe. And so
Yeah. Totally agree, because it's just one of those things. If you're in it for the money, you might as well get out now. Because if you're just in it for the money and that's your only motivation, no, it's not going to work for you. Now, there has been some people, like you said, that have got lucky and had a viral video or something go off. Yeah,
Mhm.
they got lucky. That's not going to happen to 9/10 of us.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not. You look at the analytics and everything going through YouTube, and the people that are up at the top, 9 out of those 10 people they got into it because it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm interested in this. Let's see who wants to come along for the ride.
Video gaming or
Yeah,
whatever it might be.
yeah. It doesn't matter because there's between chainsawing or wood, splitting wood or wood stove. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're into it, the people are going to see that.
Yeah.
Because if you're not into it and you're trying to fake it, people are pretty smart. They're going to be able to know exactly if you're faking it or if you're actually enjoying it.
Yeah. And I will say that from the people I know, not personally, but have seen that, they probably are making really good money. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they're busting their butts. I mean, they're
Oh
making
yeah.
sure they got uploads, they're putting out great content. It's not, they're not just like, you know, skipping through the field there, and chasing butterflies and throwing up a video every now and then. I mean, they're working at it. And so, if you're looking at it towards the monetary side of it, you know, these people grind. I mean, they really do. But you're always going to get burnout, even if it's something you really enjoy doing, but it's going to last way longer, if it's something you enjoy compared to if you're looking at it as a job. And so, but yeah,
Yeah.
you do have to put in the time. There's no doubt
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. It's just like anything else. If you want it to grow and you want it to succeed, you have to put the time in to it. And which, I'm accusing myself of it. I've had lack of it at times, and that's just because between the family and the farming and the ranch, and that keeps me pretty busy. And that's why, honestly, why I started doing the farm videos is because okay, I'm right there. I have the time. I'm going to press record, and this is what I know. So,
Yeah. Yeah, and like some of your farming videos, they're so interesting because like here where I live, I mean, you only farm on a hillside, and it's rocky, and all that. You don't take post hole diggers and dig a hole or just drive a stake in the ground, with that nice rich soil. You're using a rock bar and dynamite, to dig a hole around here. And so like to watch your farming videos, you're plowing, you're loading up the seeder, the seed, for the crop and all that. That's stuff that like me personally, I've not got to see up close or experience. And so, that's really fun to watch, even though like you do it all the time and you're like, well, it's no big deal. Everybody around me, for 100 miles knows how to do this. But it's good content because not everybody knows how to do that and they've not seen it done.
exactly. And that kind of goes back to go with what and that's, like I wouldn't know how to farm down there where you're at versus where I farm at. So it's completely two different landscapes. And somebody, like you said, okay, I'm from, let's say, Louisiana or Florida, and they have totally different crops down that way versus what I've got up this way, and they're interested on, oh, how do they farm up? How do those Yankees farm up there? So, sorry, I had to
Yeah.
do a little north versus south there.
Yeah. Around here, you better have a good, strong mule and a plow because you're not going to get
If-
a whole lot of equipment on these hillsides. And
yeah,
all
and a
it's going
fistful
to
of
do is
dynamite.
just spit up rock. And so,
Right.
but believe it or not, like in my area, even in these mountains, there was crops that grew great here,
Mm-hmm.
tomatoes and strawberries. They love the acidity of these big tall oak trees, the leaves and all that, and then the gravelly hillsides. Um, strawberries and tomatoes thrived, in this territory. And like we literally, from where I am, which they're all closed down now because of more commercial stuff, but there's at least 6 canneries around my area within 20, 30-minute drives that are closed down now, might be destroyed. But that's where people like they took, tomatoes. They actually, a lot of the tomatoes around here were sold to um, some of the, the famous, ketchup in the world, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and, Heinz and stuff like that. And which they wanted a certain type of tomato, it grew great here and just had a great flavor. And same with the strawberries, just were like we've had strawberries too and tomatoes, and they just really have a flavor that is not common to a lot of places. And so, but
Yep.
yeah, it's we ain't got no combines or nothing like that. You seed by hand and and pick
Yep.
by hand, and yeah. So, but uh, what life lessons would you suggest to somebody? You know, at your age, maybe somebody younger, growing up, starting a family, and stuff like that. Um, what life lessons would you suggest with like finances or like jobs or whatever? Like what is something that you would tell somebody else? It's like you know they want to work, they want to save up money. Um, the pros and cons, to that stuff. So, uh, let us know like what you think.
Well, starting out. Um,
Get like 20 credit cards.
yeah, exactly. And yeah, put yourself just steeply into debt. Just go full rabbit hole. Just bore yourself in. No, no. One of the, and I know it's really hard to do this, but try and stay away from the credit cards. Try to stay out of debt the best you can. I know it's getting harder and harder nowadays, especially the way everything is. But okay, I'll put it this way: you get up every morning and you want to go get that coffee in the morning. Okay, do I go with the $1.50 one to get me started in the morning, or do I go to Starbucks and get that 6.50?
Well, I don't know if you can
No.
get a 650 coffee at Starbucks.
Well,
I think it might be
well,
1650 now.
yeah, probably. You're probably not wrong. You're probably not wrong. But when you're first starting out, yeah, everybody we're used to this lap of luxury that we live in
Hmm.
now, especially for you and me. We've established ourselves, and we're doing pretty good. You know, still got to watch everything, but when you're getting started out, man, it is easy to get yourself down into a hole. So
Hmm.
just pinch your pennies, and it's whether or not that $1.50 coffee or that 6.50 coffee. Swap that out, and trust me, I've been there. When I went to college and everything, I really had to watch it, and I had to put myself through college and everything like that. Definitely had a lot of help from mom and dad and everything. Don't get me wrong on that, but I was also working a full time job and everything like that. It's just you just gotta watch your finances and don't get yourself beat down into a hole. And one of the
Well,
best things I can say is instead of going hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, like going to a doctor or lawyer or something like that, a real high profile job, you can do the same thing in 2 years by going through the trades and go for two
compared to a
years.
college degree. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, versus a 4 year. and walk out with no debt, and you're already making six figures if you put yourself in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not kidding, folks. Um, and then maybe 3-4 years down the road, with all these people needing plumbing, HVAC, electricians, uh, everything that you can think of from the trades, welders, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you can put yourself in a really good position where you can be like, hey, I can own my own company. Hey, I've got 3 or 4 people underneath me now. I'm
Mm-hmm.
making, you know, I'm making seven figures now with this business, because the one thing that AI is not going to be able to do
It's
is
manual work.
is manual work, and the way to do it. And if you want it bad enough, and you got the drive, you'll go after it and you'll go do it. Because trust me, hard work pays off, especially in the trades, especially when it comes to all that stuff. Earth moving, Hillbilly knows all about that stuff
Yeah.
and everything. So
You
we're
can't
like
really
two.
go to you can't really go to college for that. I mean,
Nope.
especially on these hillsides.
Yeah, I'd go be somebody's apprentice.
Yeah.
That's you can do that with electrical. You can do that with welding. You know, and it even come out. Not having to pay in college,
On the
and still,
job experience
yep,
really means a
that
lot.
trumps everything. That trumps
And,
everything.
you know, there are companies that, yes, they're going, they're wanting to look at like some degrees and stuff, depending on what field you go into. But if you're working for somebody, if you start out of high school or whenever, and you got on the job experience, you're learning, it don't matter if you're excavating, like,
Hmm.
plumber, welder, blah, 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 um, or working on cars. I mean, whatever the case might be. Um, as you're on that job, if there's like, you know, degrees or something that like you might need to be a certified, mechanic or a welder or whatever. There's lots of times the owner of that company will pay for that class for you
Yep.
to better their business, and then you get like a basically a free degree while working for that company. And if you do a great job, others are going to see that, and so like you'll be able to, if you end up not happy where you're at, you're going to be able to find a job. If you did really good and know your skill real well, finding a job pretty
Yep.
much anywhere, or if you need to move or whatever. And so, that on the job, hands on training means a lot, for a lot of jobs. Now, there is stuff that, you know, um, you know, uh, you know, you can't do an on the job degree and be a doctor or whatever or a dentist. There's some of that stuff. If that's your passion, yeah, get your degree. But I think even if I was like, if I was going to be a dentist or a doctor or whatever, I think I'd want to like first do a year, like just as a floor sweeper or helper or something like that. See if it's a job that you that you want to do the rest of your life before you invest in a degree. And
Yep.
so I know I've had those jobs. I'm sure you have too. That's like, oh, this would be a pretty good job, and then it's like, ooh, I'm really not
Yeah.
happy doing this.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
just takes
j-
you
uh,
invest all this money in a degree for that, and then you hate your job.
yeah. Job shadowing
Mm-hmm.
was a big thing back when I was in high school, and even just a couple of days at
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to go to and job shadow somebody, if somebody will pick you up, and you can follow them around and see how everything works. And as long as you've got a good person that will show you a little bit of everything included in that job, really helps out a lot on determining your path.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. That's great stuff, buddy. Um, man, it's been fun
yeah, it's been a blast,
talking
man.
to you. And we've not even touched a lot of stuff. I know me and you both are, gearheads. We love cars and everything. We've not even hardly touched the surface on any of that
No.
stuff. So may
Nope.
have to have you back and we'll talk cars and square bodies and Chevys and stuff like that maybe
Oh yeah.
sometime, racing. And but anyway, thank you so much, Pat, for being here. um we will be linking Pat's channel down below in the description, Pat in the Bunker on YouTube, and we'll have that down there so you can just go straight to his channel. So go check it out and support his channel. Um, anyway, we're going to be ending this, and we'll go to an after show. And anyway, I'll be getting out of here, and Cooter is going to be hosting the after show with you, Pat. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Cooter's been wanting to get on YouTube and do videos for a long time. So, tell me, well, you started out to where you're not so much public, and we'll see what you do from there. And so, if you're asking like Hillbilly, how do I, see this after show or whatever? Well, that's going to be exclusively for members. And so, starting off here, once this channel gets to where we can have members, then the members will be able to see the after shows on here. But for now, we're going to put them over on my other channel, Hillbilly Up. And so the members over there will get to see the after shows there as just a perk for supporting this channel and being a member. And so we sure appreciate you very much, and thank you so much for being here, Pat.
Well, thanks for having me on tonight, brother. It's always a good time when I get to hang out with you.
Oh man, yeah, me too. I just enjoy it and look forward to it so much. And anyway, guys and girls, again, I'll tell you, check out Pat in the Bunker. You never know what he's going to be doing. And we're going to leave you all here. Remember to make somebody's day better. And Pat, tell everybody bye, will you?
All right. Well, y'all, stay safe, carry your weapon, and have a good day.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys all on the after show.